Hello, Craig Birch here for Tungsten Tales. Another week in the world of darts and around the board. Your weekly darts bulletin will tell you all about what's been going on and what we can expect going forward in both the PDC and the BDO. Let's talk about the Premier League. Penultimate evening of the Premier League in Aberdeen this Thursday. Before we move on to the playoffs, the finale at the O2 Arena in London. Always a great night of darts, the Premier League is, when it comes to the culmination, and it's just getting interesting now. We know for a fact that Michael van Gerwen will take top spots in the Premier League. He sealed that last Thursday night in Birmingham, earned himself £25,000 in the process, but could still lose the Premier League theoretically because it's a playoff format and it's tournaments when we get to the final nights as well. His 7-2 victory over an overwhelmed Rob Cross just showed how good Michael van Gerwen's darts were going to be over the course of those 3 days. Well, averaged 111.57 in that 7-2 victory over the world champion, and that sealed him top spot. European Darts Grand Prix in Germany to look forward to at the weekend, and there's plenty more to report on that, but I'll come to that in a moment as well. There is still the race for that last playoff spot. It's still in the reckoning because Gary Anderson lost 7-3 to Raymond van Barneveld, and because of that defeat, Gary Anderson is still not sealed his Premier League playoff spots as yet for the time being. And those who did, Rob Cross, despite losing, he is guaranteed a playoff spot. Michael Smith also, despite the fact he drew 6-6 with Daryl Gurney, is also assured of a playoff spot. That 6-6 draw for Gurney couldn't quite capitalise on Anderson's defeat, but that leaves Daryl Gurney. He's still in there with a fighting chance of making the playoff spots. It's 2 points, it's only an outside chance, but he has still got half a chance, and that's really the only thing there is left to play for at the moment until we get to the playoff evenings as well. Bit of a dead rubber game, as I mentioned last week as well. Peter Wright also beat Simon Whitlock 7-4, so certainly makes things interesting going to Aberdeen. But obviously, when we go to Aberdeen, all the talk is going to be on whether Daryl Gurney will get that final playoff spot, or will Gary Anderson hold his place. Daryl Gurney will have to beat Peter Wright to give himself a chance of still qualifying for the Premier League playoffs. Gary Anderson's got Michael van Gerwen. Michael van Gerwen has already sealed top spot, but do we know for sure if Michael's going to be... He's still going to be, I suppose, will he have one eye on the playoffs in London? We'll find out as well, but Michael van Gerwen is playing some fantastic darts at the moment. We'll talk more about that in a minute as well. Michael Smith has got Raymond van Barneveld, and Simon Whitlock has got Rob Cross. Those two games are not really relevant to the league at the moment, but we can still expect them to be good encounters as well. Other news as well, the Grand Slam of Darts in Wolverhampton the trophy is going to be renamed as well. New venue for the Grand Slam of Darts in Wolverhampton this year as well. It's going to be going to Aldersley Leisure Village because the Wolverhampton Civic Hall is undergoing a period of refurbishment. It's been going on for quite some time, and it could be at Aldersley Leisure Village for as much as the next 2 years as well. It's going to be named Eric Bristow Trophy after Eric Bristow's passing some weeks ago, and yeah, nice touch as well, isn't it? So whoever wins the 2018 Grand Slam of Darts will lift the Eric Bristow Trophy. We've now got the Phil Taylor Trophy as well for the World Match Play, and the Sid Widdell Trophy for the World Championship. So it's nice to know the legends of darts are not going unforgotten, even though some of them have passed as well. Challenge Tour as well, the second string Challenge Tour over the weekend. 4 tournaments held in Wigan. The winners there, Cody Harris won the first tournament, Michael Barnard won tournaments 2 and 3. Really good weekend for Michael Barnard as well, and Adam Hookvale was the other winner on the PDC Challenge Tour at the weekend. The European Grand Prix, meanwhile, with all the first string darters, was taking place in Sindelfingen in Germany as well. And I was talking about Michael van Gerwen. Michael van Gerwen went and beat James Wade 7-3 in the final of the European Darts Grand Prix. Called it his best ever tournament, 3 consecutive 110 plus averages over the quarterfinals, semi-finals and the final. In the quarterfinals, beat David Chisnell 6-4. In the semi-finals, he walloped Michael Smith by whitewash 7-0 in less than 10 minutes with 110 plus average. That's absolutely devastating darts from Michael van Gerwen. And then he beat James Wade 7-3 in the final. Wade played very well, but he couldn't compete with Michael and those 110 plus averages over the weekend as well. It got Michael van Gerwen his 3rd European Tour title of 2018 already, and his 23rd European Tour title in total. Michael van Gerwen on fire again, and that certainly does not bode well for his rivals at all. Little bit of news on the BDO World Trophy, as we've talked about for quite the last few weeks. That's approaching the end of May. That's a big one of the big 4 for the BDO. Their qualifiers will be held at Pontins Prestatyn Pontins on Friday, ahead of the Welsh Open, which is always a big tournament for the BDO, and they also have the Finnish Open and the Finnish Masters to be staged over in Finland as well. I'm Craig Birch. We'll see you next week for more darts news.